My name is Ryah, and you're watching Ryah's World.
Welcome to Ryah's World. Welcome to Ryah's World, where the thoughts run deep, the conversations are real, and the truth don't whisper, it speaks. Welcome to Ryah's World, where the mind goes free. Every thought in the universe floating endlessly. We talk love, life, truth unfurled. Let your voice be heard.
Alrighty. Hello, y'all. Welcome back to Ryah's World. I'm your podcast host, Ryah. How is everybody doing on this lovely, lovely, lovely Monday? How was everybody's weekend? How are y'all feeling so far? My weekend was very eventful. It's water in the cup today for a very good reason. I went real hard to start off June, and we're gonna keep the good vibes going. So, as always, if y'all are somewhere where y'all can join me in a meditative breathing, go ahead and close your eyes so we can do 3 quick deep breaths to get ourselves ready for the rest of the week. So, go ahead and close your eyes with me. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. One last one. Breathe in and out. Alrighty, y'all. Like I said, it's a beautiful, lovely Monday. Life's great. Birthday's in about 12 days, which means Juneteenth is in about 11 days, which means that, the National Black People Holiday is here. It's coming up here. And, I don't know what y'all have planned for Juneteenth, but oh, baby, with that being my birthday eve, I got to go hard. Like I said a couple episodes ago, I think I was destined to be like extra black, extra pro black. Like, what do you mean your birthday is the day before the day after Juneteenth? Come on now. So yeah, I actually want to say that I actually just hit 1K followers on TikTok today, which is really exciting. Yeah, thanks. Really exciting. It's finna open the door for a whole bunch more. It's crazy because the video that that I'm going viral for right now is me reminding Black people that America is 100% under a contract, and most civil empires only last 250 years. And if you know, this year is America's 250th birthday. So their clock is definitely ticking. And it's crazy because what they don't realize, what the palm color folks don't realize, is that they are a sacrifice for their ancestors being able to do slavery without them getting their karma. They knew they wasn't going to live to be 250 years. So they kind of just wrote it off for them. And unfortunately, there's nothing that they can really do. So yeah, with that being said, y'all, we are starting a series. Well, yeah, it's going to be a 3-part series on true Black liberation, the freedom of Black people. Like, how are we actually going to get free? Because with this contract being up, us as Black people got to understand how we have to work our ends of the contract. So I had seen a video a couple weeks ago, and in one of the comments, it has said that the court of liberation is intersectionality. And when I say that was beautiful. Like, by definition, that basically means that for us as Black people to be free, we have to start removing ourselves from these systems and these stereotypes and all these things that have been put into place and placed upon us for us to be these types of people. Once we start stepping away from that identity that they've given us, and once we start stepping away from the same people that are oppressing us, and, stop promoting their businesses, and, stop using their products, and, really taking back our Black power and our Black dollar, that is when we will in turn truly be free. I don't know if y'all want to be free, but I very much so want to be free. And anybody that wants to be free, you can go ahead and join me. But yeah, Black liberation really starts when Black people wake up to who we're told that we are and who we actually are. When we start remembering that outside of all these stereotypes and outside of all this slander and outside of how the media portrays us, we are actually very powerful beings. We've just been played, every single odd has been placed against us for a very good reason. Well, not a good reason, but for a very evident reason, for us to never be great. Like, they purposefully do certain things for us to never be great simply because they know our greatness. I don't know if y'all remember what Cat Williams has said, but he said, a liar remembers what lie he told. The reason why white folks be going so hard and they be trying to downplay us to be nothing but gum off the bottom of somebody's shoe is because they know who we are. It's just time for us as Black people to wake up and realize who we are. So with that being said, liberation starts with acknowledgement, and today is going to be step one, which is us acknowledging. Okay, as Black people, what are these stereotypes? What are these problems? What are the issues within our community that's quite literally holding us back? Because same way that white people are facing a karmic debt, us as Black people, we are unfortunately also facing a karmic debt. So with that being said, Black people, it's time that we wake up. And it's so crazy because most people be like, oh, well, there's not many issues to the Black community. I think we're all peaches and cream over here. No, sir. Because the way that Black media specifically portrays us, especially our Black classics portray us, we got a lot going on. And it's crazy because I don't think most Black people realize how, what's the word? How interesting Black classics actually are. And then when you look at the versions of, or when you look at the movies that they call Black classics, it's like, why is this considered a classic? I was given a task when I first started my podcast. After everybody found out that I'd never watched Harlem Nights, I was given the task to go and watch it. And since then, I kind of like made it my mission to actually go watch the Black classics that I never watched because everybody kept telling me my Black card was going to get revoked. And I just couldn't have that happen. But now, unfortunately, I think I've read a little bit too much, and I think I've done a little bit too much research to just comfortably sit through a movie without 100% analyzing a movie. So as I'm watching the Black classics, I'm like, oh no, like that's not what we're supposed to be doing. But a classic is a classic, I guess. It's just really interesting to me how when you look at these quote unquote Black classics and when you look at the people that are actually funding these Black classics, it's kind of like they're making a mockery of our pain. Like, I was watching Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins, right? Actually, let me just roll this clip to give everybody a little bit of a refresher, and then we're going to break it down.
It's showtime.
America's favorite talk show host is marrying television sweetheart.
You're the male Oprah. Bro.
But before they start their new family, he's taking her back home to meet his.
This is the only pair of pants you can find in this airport.
Colors look fabulous on you.
I look like a clown.
My baby's home.
Been a long time, Dr. Stevens.
Dad, that's just a stage name.
Yeah, I know. Gotcha.
Now he's returning to the place he tried to forget.
You got your jewelry? You got your purse?
Hollywood that came to town. What up, cuz? Oh, man, look, you got them picnic tablecloth pants on. Hey, boo-boo, let me get another picnic basket. Don't you worry about
And reuniting with the relatives
I got out of here the first chance I could, and I haven't looked back.
he hardly relates to.
Take that dog out of my kitchen. Just ain't sanitary. What's wrong with people? I make no damn sense.
Done good, Sco. Got an outstanding career, beautiful fiance. Don't even matter that you can never beat me at nothing. I beat you.
Mama?
They're your children.
He started it.
We're going to take a shower while you sleep on the couch tonight.
What are you doing, boy? You trying to sneak up here and see my treat?
I thought Nell Carter was dead. Give me a break.
You want to see something? You want to look?
Oh, hell no. It got my mouth. Where did I go wrong with that boy?
This February,
Let the games begin.
the only thing longer than 9 years away from his family
I'm about to strike you out, player.
is one weekend with them.
I can't tell you.
Mama! Ah, you done hit my mama!
Welcome home, Roscoe Jenkins.
You will respect your elders and stop being so damn rude. Say praise the Lord.
It's just so interesting. Like, that is just so interesting to me. Like, listen to the wholesome music. It's very upbeat, very happy, very jolly. And then watching the movie, it's just like, oh, that entire family had problems. Like, that entire family was crazy. Like, you know, Black people, we gotta realize that, like, when somebody wants to, like, step outside of the family dynamic, do something different and actually want to change their lives, like, you don't have to hate, like, there's enough haters in the world that your family member, your loved one is going to experience, and you don't have to be the first. And I think that's kind of what I picked up from that movie. Like, they were very much so outcasting him. They're very much so embarrassing him the entire movie just because he wanted better for himself. And then when you understand the context in which the movie was filmed, it's like, all right, cool. The location of it was Deep South in Georgia, real small country bumpkin type town. So it's a lot of inner family gossip and a lot of inner family drama and beef because it's just like y'all have grown up around the same people for the last probably 30 years, and y'all have heard the same thing about these same people for the last 30 years, and it's like nobody actually stepped outside to, be a different person than the person that everybody was telling them that they were, everybody that the family was telling them that they were. And it's like, so when Roscoe finally decided, hey, I'm not gonna be that little punk that everybody makes me seem. Makes it seem like I am. I'm actually going to step outside and I'm gonna do better for myself. It was kind of just like he had no support, and the entire movie is him just wanting to be felt. Like he just wanted his presence to be felt. Like he just wanted to be acknowledged. He just wanted his accomplishments not to go unnoticed because that's what he had been through his entire life growing up. And then it's just like to be overshadowed by not only his siblings but his cousin. It was just like he had always longed for that, and they weren't necessarily trying to hear him when he was saying that, because it was like, boy, you too old to be sitting here complaining, you too old to be sitting here like, go, we not supposed to be praising you, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Not realizing that that's a big issue when it comes to self-esteem. And then when you constantly shoot at a child's self-esteem, it's like they're never going to want to grow up and be something, or they're going to grow up and just be angry. And so it's just like, all right, cool. He was definitely he was a prime example as to why kids need their fathers in their lives, right? Because throughout the entire movie, he was just trying to get acceptance from his dad, and it was like a piece of him was broken because of that. In turn, causing him to be in a relationship with the same, like basically essentially with the same type of toxicity that he was experiencing at home, because he had never acknowledged and healed that part of him. So in turn, he just manifested his trauma all over again. Even Bianca herself, when his mom had called her Blanca in the beginning of the movie, it was extremely telling because obviously Blanca means white. And throughout the entire movie, she kind of portrayed like the Oreo character, the white black girl, just someone who was very much so close to whiteness, and she had a close proximity to whiteness. And so she was trying her best to assimilate Roscoe throughout the entire movie. Like, she did not want him to act anyway. She wanted to pull him so far away from his truth that he kind of forgot who he was for a second. And then when he got around his family and he was reminded, she was almost disgusted by it. And it's like I said, with her mom naming her Blanca, it's like, oh, She's supposed to be portraying, you know, the white girl, the intruder, the person that's not supposed to be here. Very interesting. Then his cousin Clyde. He's that type of person to throw the rock and hide the hand. Nothing, he's the family's baby. Nothing that he can do is very much so wrong. And he unfortunately is the embodiment of what happens when you coddle boys all their lives. Like they grow up and they want to throw hissy fits whenever they don't get their way. And then it's like to think that he never actually truly had any type of attraction to Lucinda. It was just like he was a very spiteful individual. Very, very, very telling. So then, boom, you get to Lucinda. She's, of course, the Southern Belle. Like I said, casting is very intentional because for her to be a light skinned woman with like the, you know, this blonde, light brown hair and these colored eyes, of course, she would be the hood commodity. Of course, she'd be the one that everybody in a small town wants to go after because her appearance. It's like she highlights the colorism within the black community, but she also highlights how young girls are glorified so young without even knowing that they're being glorified. Like, especially what I've noticed in like small towns, when you're a young, pretty girl, you're automatically put on a pedestal by not only the men, but like the boys around you, the women around you, you know, you're automatically put on this pedestal. Oh, she's the pretty girl. Oh, she's the girl with the nice hair. Oh, she's this. Oh, she's that. And it's just like, y'all don't realize how harmful that is to girls growing up because it's like they will never look at themselves outside of their beauty. They will never look at themselves outside of the image that they can offer, the very superficial things. It's just like everybody looks past the characteristics and automatically looks at her beauty. And it's like for her to not even know that she was the head of a bed for so X amount of years is actually sickening. And if I was her, I would have divorced him immediately, honestly. Then we get on to Papa Jenkins. I'm sorry. He was terrible. The entire movie, I was turning my nose up to him because it's just like he highlights, unfortunately, the toxic, the how the head of the household can be so toxic that it continues to trickle down throughout everybody in the family. And he was a terrible example to how a patriarchy is supposed to run their family. Like he was extremely toxic, he was extremely abusive, he was very inconsistent as a father. Like he had all these kids and it was very evident and obvious who he loved and who he didn't love. And so he was really the embodiment of toxic masculinity within our communities because it's just like if the head of the household is acting like an asshole and he don't like listening to what nobody got to say, you know, he's very stern in his opinion, he's very hard-headed, of course everybody else within the family is going to think that that's okay. And then for Mama Jenkins to be this extra oh so submissive sweet woman that don't say anything out of turn and just smile and wave at everybody is just like, of course the family is going to pick up on those old habits, like I mean those toxic habits. And he instilled toxicity throughout the entire movie simply because off of basically nothing. It seemed pretty pointless to me for him to not like Roscoe, but the movie in itself really highlights a self-esteem issue within the black community. And it also highlights the scarcity mindset that the black community has because it's like as black people, we don't want to see other black people win simply because we feel as if there's not going to be enough for everybody. There's not going to be enough for everybody to feed off of. There's not going to be enough money for everybody to get some. There's not going to be enough land. There's not going to be enough anything, not realizing that we live in an abundant place. It's like as black people, we go to church and we preach abundance and we preach prosperity and all these things. But then when it's time for us to actually start implementing that way of thinking into our lives, it's hard for us to shake that. And when you realize that stuff like that comes from slavery, and when you realize that we operate off of a scarcity mindset through slavery, it's like stuff like that, acknowledging those points and understanding, okay, this is not a thought of my own, and this is something that I need to shake, and knowing that there's enough for everybody to go around, that's when we start our true liberation. Like when we come to wake up and realize I have to actually start analyzing my family as the people that they are and not the people that I want them to be. And then I have to move accordingly. Although throughout the entire movie, they were dogging him, I think at the end of the day, it was like, it's so crazy because there's an unhealthy but healthy amount of hate within the black community. And it's just like, I think he was reminded he was reminded over and over again about his humble beginnings and where he wanted to go. Because although they tried their very best throughout the entire duration of the movie to break his confidence, to hurt his feelings, to try to remind him, oh, you ain't nothing, you ain't, all this stuff, he still remembered, okay, at the end of the day, I'm only here for a weekend. I can change my environment and I can go back to being the person that I genuinely know that I am. This is an important message for us as Black people, because sometimes it's quite literally the spaces and the environments that we're put in that keep us stuck mentally. And Roscoe knew that if he was going to stay in his small hometown, he was never going to genuinely be free, whether that was financially, whether that was emotionally, whether that was physically. He knew that being stuck in that type of environment and being in a place where nobody around him wanted to grow and nobody around him wanted to see him succeed and nobody around him was supporting him, he understood that, okay, maybe I got to switch my environments. Maybe I got to switch my surroundings. And that's a very important message that we need to take away from that movie. Outside of all the toxic BS, it's just like you genuinely have to move around. Like you genuinely have to get out of these environments that keep you stuck. And you got to get away from the people, even if it is your own family. Like it's very hard to come to the realization that family members can really truly be your first haters. And it's an even harder realization that if I want to wake up and if I want to be better, I have to move around. And in order for all of us to genuinely be free, we got to start getting up out of some of these environments. Like they create the hood to be a place of struggle, a place of pain, a place of hurt. Like in Harlem Nights, that little boy, like at the beginning of the movie, he looked all about like 8 to 10, right? He caught his first body with no expression on his face, none whatsoever. And it's just like no child is supposed to be able to conduct something like that with no emotions, and B, they shouldn't be so traumatically numb to the point to where their brain even thinks to do something like that. And it's just like you could tell, because during that movie, I don't think we ever got a backstory as to what happened to his parents. I don't think so. It's kind of like, okay, knowing that his parents had died and knowing that it was so easy for him to off that man during the pool scene, it's like, we can just go ahead and assume that unfortunately his parents were killed due to gun violence. Gun violence, death, heartbreak, hurt is nothing that's unfamiliar to the Black community. Nothing about that is not something that people that live in the hood specifically, especially, are like, we're not unfamiliar to that. It's not something that at least one of us, like, they create these systems and they put these things in place for us to remain stuck. They keep us in these low vibrational areas to remain stuck. They play these low vibrational movies and they play this low vibrational music to keep us stuck. And it's like, we got to wake up and realize everything is an attack against us. Everything is an attack against our character. Like they never want to see us succeed. Once again, going back to Harlem Nights. Us as Black people, even when we try to separate ourselves from them, we are reminded time and time again that we will never truly be alone. They will never be satisfied when we get a piece of the cake that's bigger than theirs. They'll tell us, go bake your own cake. We go bake our own cake, and then they get mad because they can't eat it too. And it's just like stuff like that is just very, 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 it's so unfortunate. Like it's really unfortunate. And I feel like the media, especially Black classics and Black movies, when you watch them from an entirely different lens, when you watch them from a lens of actually analyzing the movie and not just watching the movie for entertainment, it is actually insane. Like when I was watching that movie, when I was watching Harlem Nights, I was watching how the women were portrayed, right? Even what's her name? Even Vera, the way she was portrayed. She was portrayed at this very, very angry and malicious and like rough woman, Whole time the lady's feelings just hurt. Whole time she's dealing with a heartbreak outside of everything that she got going on, but she's created this wall that she's put up against people to where she doesn't let anybody in. So now they're looking at her like, oh, they automatically labeled her the angry black woman. And then it's like when you think about the girls that she was pimping, and when you think about the context of the movie and in which it was said, it's like, okay, not only was she not respected as a woman, but the women that she was pimping out also weren't respected as women. So it's kind of just like, okay, now it makes sense as to why people nowadays, like, that's why women still nowadays don't get respect. The pimping age, and then women being looked at as, oh, you're just angry, oh, you're just this. So we automatically get dismissed. And it's like the entire time, it's not like that. Then when you think about it, Sugar Ray, he was essentially the provider for everybody. He was essentially the head of the household. When you like, he was essentially the head of the household, and he had to make a whole bunch of decisions that were extremely unfavorable for everybody. Like, so he had to come into disagreements with his family for the sake of them being better. And I feel like that's kind of where us as black people, we have some drawback, because it's like we don't know how to have disagreements and then come to an agreement. We have a hard time of hearing everybody's differences of opinions and then figuring out a plan and a solution from there. And then unfortunately, some people, like, especially in that movie, they kind of felt like he had went behind he had felt they had felt like he had went behind their back and made a decision without him, and not even realizing that the decision that he had to make was in the best interest of everybody, even if it wasn't in that moment and in that time. It's really crazy because when other races go against black people, it's like, especially successful black people, especially successful black men, they get almost insecure about themselves. Like, it's an insecurity that stems from like a deep rooted hatred, and it's like they will do anything to feed their pride and ego in the face of insecurity. And throughout that entire movie, the only advantage that they had against the whole family, the only advantage that the mafia had against, Sugar Ray and all them, was the fact that they had money and they had connects. And it's just like, outside of that, they use their guns as like a power trip, like, a token, a prize. Because if you notice that entire movie, they had guns drawn on them. Anytime that they were like, popping up to the club, anytime that they were just, having a meeting, anytime that they was popping up to the house, they always had a gun drawn. And it's just because they know that one-on-one combat, they would never be able to win that. Like, that would never be able to happen. And it's like, it's really crazy because that movie highlights the close connection that law enforcement has with like the bad guys. Like, how those two like groups of people are so deeply connected. And it's just like, even with the Rick Chow situation, right? Knowing that both sides were quite literally connected in that case, it's like, okay, as black people, we got to wake up and realize we're going to be the only people to save us. Nobody's going to come out here and save us. We can't call the police to come save us. We can't, nobody is really coming to save us. And that movie quite literally highlighted the fact that, like, you think that the one person that you could call to be your safety, the person that's supposed to serve and protect you, you think that they're going to be on your side whole time. They play on the side with the fence with the bad guys. Crazy as fuck. Even Dominique in the movie, she's very interesting because she highlights how powerful, like, hoodoo and voodoo, energy exchange genuinely is. She specifically highlights how sex isn't just a physical exchange, it's actually like an energy exchange. And when you come in sexual contact with somebody, it's just not, it's not just bumping and grinding. It's actually a energetic and emotional and spiritual exchange between two people. And something like that, could cloud somebody so easily. But she also highlights the fact that there is still coons within the Black community. Like, there is still people that will wholeheartedly sell us out for a quick dollar. They will push us so far back just for the sake of themselves. Like, they will do anything to make sure that they win. Even Sunshine in the movie, she's the girl that helped with the coke switch up during the police scene. She highlights how, like, alluring beauty can also cloud somebody's judgment. How a sweet voice and, the bat of an eye, like, that clouds somebody's judgment to where they completely stop thinking logically, because he knew throughout that entire movie that he wasn't supposed to be messing with that girl. But he played on the wrong side of the fence and messed up. That movie it's a very powerful movie in the sense that every single thing was thrown at them throughout the entire duration of the movie. Every single thing, every single eye was formed against them. Everything, they weren't supposed to win in the end, but somehow they still remain victorious. And it's just like, to know that there's hurt within the Black community that hinders women from being able to fully express themselves, and they kind of shut themselves off. To know that you could have trauma as a little kid and you can experience some things. To know that you could have issues within yourself and not feel like you're good enough, and to still remain triumphant at the end. It definitely highlights how the struggle doesn't ever outweigh the outcome, depending on how you move with it, depending on how you work it, depending on how you take all those challenges in and actually, like, deal with them head on. Um it's like, it's really crazy because watching those movies and then watching media now, they're two totally different things, right? Because back then, those movies, they were trying to kind of like highlight the issues, but then they would throw a little joke on it. Movies and media nowadays, they're not throwing no jokes on it. They're basically like, here's what's wrong with the Black community. Let me just show you, and let's make a mockery of it. Because boom, people like Tyler Perry, for an example. People like, I don't know if y'all know who Lemmy is or if y'all know what Baddies is, but people like Lemmy, for an example. People like Diddy, for an example. Those are all three very prime examples of people who have sold out the community or who profit off the pain of the community, without necessarily offering any types of solutions. Tyler Perry is a prime example because he comes out with a different Black struggle movie every single year. Every single year. I'm really getting sick and tired of it. That movie with Taraji P. Henson, that really threw me over the edge. First of all, I did not like that only because my mom and Taraji P. Henson favor each other, and I was just like, I'm not finna watch this movie. Like, she looks a little too much like my mama. And then to hear that she never like won at the end, it's like, what the hell do we need another Black woman struggle movie for? Movies like Madea Big Family Reunion. That whole family was crazy. That whole family was tore down. And then the mama just gonna up and die at the end. And now all of a sudden y'all want to figure y'all stuff out. It's just like movies like that. It's like, okay, I think we get it. Like, I really do think that I think we get it. Like, I think we understand that Black women are struggling. I think we understand that Black families struggle. I think we understand that, like, Black women and Black people in general have it pretty hard. And I think as Tyler Perry, if we're gonna keep creating these types of movies, we need to start creating some types of solutions. And it's so crazy to think that his character, because she's basically, unfortunately, Madea is a version of a mammy, like, through and through. She is a caricature version, a picture book version of a mammy. Like, she's the extra big, extra loud, extra voluptuous Black woman that stands on her porch and yells at all the kids, and she carries a gun. Like, it's just like, that's a very interesting character that you choose to portray. And it's like, and then she's a repeat offender. Just thinking about this is really stressing me out. Like, it's really stressing me out.
Believe it or not, that's how it was like growing up. Every household had a mammy that was they would whoop the kids when the other parents were away.
Mhm.
They would discipline the children in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they all had guns. Yes, they had switches, not switches, not the pew pews, like the switches that's gonna whoop your ass. You know what I mean? It was like that. So his betrayal of that portrayal probably comes from his upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, him playing the character, I ain't got
And
nothing.
see,
I got nothing to say on
that's
that.
my problem.
That's
It
a
would be
grown man.
cool. It would be cool if it was a woman playing it, because it's like, okay, but like, you a grown man. You've been putting titties and a wig on for the last 20 years. Like, at some point, I feel like he got to hang Medea up. Like, he really has to hang that character up, especially considering with the current climate that we're in, we don't need no more fuel to add to their fire. And unfortunately, I feel like Medea's caricature is really a fueling like entity to this fire, because it's like, oh, she loud, she ghetto, she a convicted felon, and she's like, most people don't even like, most people totally separate Medea from Tyler Perry. Like, Medea's her own person, and it's just like, we need to dial it back a little bit. And then with Medea comes Joe. Joe's a loose screw that, you can't bring all the cousins around. You can't bring all the family members around, because he gonna look at them a little different. He gonna look at them a little sideways. He's off his rockers a little bit. And then he always high. Like, then when you think about, uh, damn, whatever Tyler Perry's character name is, the actual Tyler Perry.
All of them.
Yeah. Goddamn, the one where he not dressed up, where he ain't got no titties on. Like,
he was the dad in the latest one,
mm-hmm.
the Joe one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even that was a really, really interesting movie, considering the fact that, okay, cool, it's teaching history, very much so. Like, I enjoyed that part of it, but it's like his method was a little like, like,
He's he has something to do with law in his profession, but his mom and dad are convicted felons and gun toting, weed smoking. So you can stop the law
pistol packing
everywhere else but your own house.
but your own house. Like,
I get it.
So it's just like, and then, okay, so then Lemmy runs he runs Zeus Network. Zeus Network is their shows are primarily either based around strippers and trying to win a dance competition to see if you're gonna be the best stripper out there, or it's just straight fighting. Like, I'm telling you, watching that show is literally like trying to watch brain rot. Like, it's just a house full of black women. Might I add, they're like beautiful black women. Like, girls that would go crazy in the modeling industry, some. But like, they're beautiful black women, and it's crazy because some of the black women that be on those shows, you 100% can tell that they're doing it for the money. And it's like, they purposefully, first of all, they don't feed these women. So all these women be hangry. You're laughing, Cam. It's literally proven that they don't feed these women.
They feed them alcohol. Yeah, they feed them alcohol. They, like, you don't see no Popeyes. You don't see no food in the house.
I have not seen a single biscuit. I ain't seen a single pancake, a single burger. I didn't see a quesadilla, a chicken wing.
Oh wait, when they go eat,
they don't.
They end up fighting.
They fight over the food.
And they throw the food at each other.
What? You know how mad I would be? I haven't eaten in 3 days. All I got is Don Julio and weed on my stomach. And you telling me we finally get down to the restaurant? I'm one of the civil ones. I just sat down. We cool. And this bitch done flipped the table. My chicken wing's just gone. Mind you, I got one in my hand. I picked it up. She done flipped the table. Now the chicken wing done flew halfway. Oh my gosh. I see why they're so angry. I see why.
It makes sense.
What? Because I'd fight behind my food too. First of all, I don't even play with my food when I'm sober. So you got me drunk, and now and it's just like, that is so damaging. Oh my gosh. I cannot stand people that watch shows like that. Like, that is the most low vibrational stuff you could watch next to, like, I don't know. Like, it's just like, they intentionally bring these women on that they know are extra aggressive. First of all, they're targeting these women because they're pulling them straight up out the hood. They're pulling these women straight up out the hood. They know they got issues. They pulling girls. First of all, when you go to Cali and you pulling these Cali girls from all these different types of hoods, and you know that they're from different types of hoods, but you're pulling them from the same area so that when they come into this house, they see, oh, this is such and such from down the block. I don't fuck with her. And then I can't even say the word that I want to say, but to come to find out, Lemmy's father. Y'all just look up where Lemmy's father is from. Like they quite literally are playing on the other side of the fence, and they are feeding black people to the higher ups. Like they are feeding this persona of this aggressive and this all they want to do is fight, this uncontrollable, this angry ass. Like they are feeding us to the higher ups. Like we are literally getting fed to them people, and it's just like people aren't waking up and realizing that. Like everybody try to figure out, why is the youth so angry? Why is everybody just like, why can't I go to an AAU basketball game and they not fight? Why is everybody shooting up the functions and shit like that? It's because of the media that they're consuming. These kids are literally watching people fight for an hour and a half straight and talking about this was a really good episode. I like this episode. What the hell are we talking about? Like, that's crazy to me. Like,
the baddies concept is running rampant amongst our young ladies. We should not like the fact that they walk around calling themselves baddies.
why is there a baddies Roblox?
What? They made a game?
Yes, and they fight on the game.
Come on.
They cuss each other out. It's crazy because they literally got like they got like what do you call it? Like basically the game already has like statements for you to say. So like you just pick a statement and it's all cussing, fuck you, da 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 da, like all these statements that they already have ready for you to send. And then all the little emotes, all the things that your person does during it is drink and fight.
What the hell did you just say?
They made a game for okay.
I need a cigarette. I'm stressed. I am stressed. And y'all don't think that that's a problem.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's getting out of hand. And then when you think about Diddy, oh God, just go ahead and read the comment because I just.
All right, so we're gonna start from the top here. We got old Music Man said that cake nasty.
No flavor, no sugar. It don't even rise, and it's still uncooked.
Does that make it a cookie?
No, that makes it ingredients.
Miss Red Jack say, "Hey, Unc and chat. Hey, Unc is not here. You got Cam today. Late, but I'm here. What I miss? You watching?" She said, "You watch Harlem Night? Okay, girl." And Lemmy, I'm sorry, but Lemmy he's not a modern day pimp. He's just a pimp. He's basically taking these girls, using them for their clout ability, and getting paid off of them. That's pimpish behavior to me.
That's a pimp.
She says, back in the day, good times used to stress me out like that. I remember thinking as a child, damn, the Evans can't ever get a win. It made me feel like my family would never get out the hood. Yeah. But to just go back to your point about like, we got to get out.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking earlier before the show, and I said I've been out, I've seen everything, I've done all these things, great stuff. But I always found home to be home.
Mm-hmm.
So, I can agree to disagree with the Roscoe Jenkins because even outside of my home, I'm still looked at as black male, regardless of where I'm at, how much money I was making, all of that. I'll come home and I get the grievances. Oh, you done moved away, you done changed. You know what? Family, live with it, learn from it. I did it, you can too. That's my best advice I can give you. But you're not gonna make me feel bad about it. I'm back because I want to be back. So I can disagree, but to agree with it at the same time. Just because I did leave. And I left for 20 some odd years.
And I think like that's another thing. Like as black people, we gotta realize like when people step out and do their own thing, they still want to know that they got their people behind them. Because it's like when you take that first step to break like generational curses, it's so lonely. Like you feel like you're alone, you feel like you have no help, there's no advice that you could turn to. Like it's really like it's just you. And so we got to start being more inviting and welcoming to those people that step out, because it's like they want to know that like even in a world full of strangers, because I'm basically throwing myself into the Shark Tank, I want to know that I can still come back home to my family and just be little old me. Because I feel like with him in that movie, he was put on a pedestal outside of his family, like just because of the name that he created for himself. So like he probably wanted to just go home to normalcy. And it's just like,
Be regular.
because he tell dad, that's a personality. That's my TV name. And he's like, yeah, I know. That's why I couldn't stand his ass the entire movie. Oh my gosh. Like, ugh, could not stand him. Like, it's just like, it's so sad how, like, it's so, it's just, it's very unfortunate. Like, family members will sometimes be your biggest downfalls. Like, family will sometimes be, like, the person that puts you through the ringer. And, going back to the whole Diddy thing. With Diddy, his mom knew that he had a self-esteem issue, like from the jump. She knew that he was never supposed to be in that life, but she kind of used him as a scapegoat. And I feel like unfortunately, there's a lot of people within our community that's used as these types of scapegoats for everybody else's wrongdoings. He was, I watched the documentary. I watched a couple different documentaries, and I watched them from different angles and different points of views. What I'm not saying he was correct in anything that he did. Because that man, probably everybody that was anywhere near in a 50 feet distance with Diddy, they should be put under the jail too. But it's just like, that wasn't him. And it's just like everybody around him knew that wasn't him, but they forced him to be that type of person simply because that was that person that they needed for him to be in that moment. And it got too far out of hand to where he was never able to go back. And I feel like he kind of bridged the gap between that crazy ass shit that white people be doing and black people, because some shit we was never ever ever supposed to cross paths with. And unfortunately, I feel like during that era, during that time period, he was the reason why our paths started crossing with a whole bunch of crazy shit. And it's just like, sir, we didn't have to do that, but it's just like, it's very sad because it's like the mama really did that. Like, she really put him in that situation. And it's like, it makes me think about how, boom, unfortunately, there'll be mothers out there that will have kids, and then they'll leave the father, or the father will leave, right? And then they automatically, especially if it's a son, they'll automatically put the son on a pedestal to be the provider, to be the breadwinner, to be the person that protects the house. They kind of force them to be that person that they need them to be, even when it's not in the best interest of that kid. And it's just like, that was a very prime example on a huge grand scale of her forcing him to be something that she needed in that moment, simply for whether it was monetary gain, whether it was popularity, things like that. So it's just like, with going all the way back to like tie everything back in. Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins. It highlighted how we really, as people, need to separate ourselves from the environments that we know is hindering us. It also highlights for us as people that when our people decide that they eventually want to separate themselves from our environment, we still can be cool with them. We still can be okay with the fact that they are the person that they were. They're just going to go do their own thing. We don't have to be extra salty when somebody just ups and decides, I'm going to go change my career path. I'm going to go do better by, I'm going to be selfish and I'm going to go do better for myself. Like, us as people, we not only have to take that first step, but we as a family need to create a comfortable environment for them to take that first step. In Harlem Nights, it's like, it was a very, very, very cruel reminder of how hella unfortunate shit happens throughout our lives. Like, we're going to go through a whole bunch of bullshit. Every obstacle, especially within society, is going to throw itself against us in order for us to kind of forget, like, that we're good people at the end of the day. And it's like, although all that bad shit was happening, they were able to remain victorious. And it's like, it was a great movie to take away the lesson that, okay, even though every single odd is placed against me as a Black person, I can still be victorious in the end. Like, that's a reminder. if we're gonna watch these movies, we need to start taking those types of messages from out that movie. Not, oh, well, maybe I should go, open up a juke joint, strip club, no, we need to take away the actual lessons and the actual messages from those types of movies, because we have those types of movies, and then we have movies like Tyler Perry and, Lemmy and all that. And it's like, if we're going to refer back to the Black classics, we need to start watching it from a lens of acknowledgement and acceptance rather than just entertainment, because they're very telling. They're very telling movies. Like, we always ask that question, what is wrong with us? Go watch you a movie. Go watch you a movie and really try to wholeheartedly understand that. And it's like, okay, not all Black classics are bad, by the way. And I will never stop watching Black classics. That's not happening. I still love me a little Norbit, I still love my Friday movies. That sounds so hypocritical.
Norbit.
What?
Norbit.
300 pounds. I know that. 300 pounds.
Like,
Like,
she trying
what?
to adjust that seat.
What?
Can't hit the horn.
What? Why you adjust my seat, Norbit? I told you stop pushing my seat up. And then go kill the dog. Oh my gosh. Like, she just gonna try to, man.
She's just saying movies are funny too.
Mm-hmm.
They are funny. Some movies just have more of a message that we need to keep an ear.
And the movies that they call Black classics, we need to start analyzing why they call them Black classics and really try to figure out the messages outside of them just being hood movies. Now, a movie that I 100% do recommend is Sinners. I feel like Sinners highlighted the problems within the Black community so perfectly. Like, I will never stop raving about that movie. I really wish I could go back to the first time that I seen that movie, because it's just like, it highlights the problems that familial problems. I cannot speak today. Familial problems, right? Then it highlights problems within the church, church people problems. Then it highlights intruders and their problems. Like, it highlights perfectly every single problem within the Black community, while also shedding light on how beautiful the Black community is when we truly do come together and start to be our true authentic selves. Like, it was a very beautiful reminder that we can find joy within ourselves. Like, Black people actually 100% do. Sorry. Give me 1 second. Oh. Sorry, TikTok Live is really playing right now.
Oh, by the way, this episode is sponsored by the word especially.
Especially.
I don't know why it's X, because it's ES, but today we're sponsored by especially.
Because I'm Black and we speak AAVE. Black people speak 2 languages, okay? We speak English and AAVE. If y'all didn't know that, Black people definitely do speak 2 languages. But especially, I didn't know there was an English teacher behind the camera. Sorry.
I moonlight.
Huh?
I moonlight.
Oh, you pick and choose what you want to be on what day. Oh, okay. Well, Cam just basically said that there's no room for AAVE here on this panel. I think that's pretty.
I'm just poking. A lot of people say it. You're not the only one.
I love my because it's crazy. They used to make me do push-ups in middle school because I used to say mines instead of mine. I feel like that was racially targeted, considering I was one of the only Black girls there. Like, everybody, I went to a predominantly Hispanic middle school. You telling me that there's not some words that they saying that wasn't correct?
I'm pretty sure mines was one of them.
Everybody is saying mines, but the one white teacher at the man. Now that I'm thinking about it, she was racist. That was racist. And then I couldn't do a push-up to save my life. And then she made me do 5 of them. And if I didn't do them correctly, I wasn't getting up. Like, oh, damn, why did you just remind me?
My bad. I didn't mean to do that.
Like, you really just took it there. Like,
is this the word?
Mine's, and I didn't say that word for like a whole year. Like, I really avoided that word for like a whole year after middle school, because I was like, I'm not doing no more damn push-ups. Like, y'all really got me messed up. But I digress. Speaking of white people, they ruined and Sinners. I'm telling y'all, if you haven't watched Sinners yet, you really need to, because it's just a beautiful depiction of the good and the bad parts of the Black community. Like, and it's not in a harmful type of way. It's not in a way that is derogatory. It's not in a way that's stereotypical. It's not in a way that's degrading. Like, it actually wholeheartedly They just put a mustache on me. That's so no down here. But it wholeheartedly highlights all parts of the Black community, and it show in that movie, it shows us liberation before that lady told that vampire to come in. Like, when we learn that we have to protect our assets at all costs, when we learn that we have to protect our community at all costs, when we learn that we have to protect our peace and our spirituality and our intuition and our discernment and our knowing at all costs, we will truly begin to be free. That's something that we need to take away from all movies. Like, it's something that we have to protect from the outside world. We have to protect ourselves from outside people. And through this series, I really just want to highlight the fact that I want Black people to be free. I'm not saying that, first of all, I'm not going to sit here and say that we're just super oppressed and, everybody's disheveled and, no, because that's not the case. What the case is that they've put these systems in place for us to not feel like we're ever going to be free. Just like Ms. Red Jack has said, like, you watching these movies and you going back and looking at this media and it's like, dang, like, are we ever going to get better? Are we ever going to get out the hood? Like, little boys looking like, damn, am I ever going to have to stop slanging dope? Little girls looking like, dang, am I really going to have to grow up and get pimped out? Like, we have to come to realize that there is liberation outside of the stereotypes that they have created for us. There is liberation outside of the systems that they have put in place for us. There is liberation outside of the pain that they have enacted within us. There's liberation, like, period, point blank. Like I was telling the people on TikTok earlier, we're not just out here just getting abused. We're not just out here just losing ourselves. We're not just out here just, being the white man's puppet, because at the end of the day, there's contracts. Karma is a real thing. Every Black person is looking around trying to figure out, okay, so what's next? What are we going to do next? Like, I just feel like the world is just like ending, like everything around us is crashing. There is no hope for Black people. Baby, our ancestors did the Lord's work. Okay. The same way that white people are experiencing their karma, us as Black people, we're finna experience our good karma, because they went through some stuff that we would have never, ever, ever in a million years have ever been able to experience. I know myself, I probably would have been one of the first slaves that they had to have taken out. My mouth a little too slick for me to just let nobody just whoop my ass. That's not happening. And to think that our ancestors really just sat there and they took that shit like champs for us to be able to have these conversations like these. So when we're having these conversations, I just want everybody to come with an open mind, because I'm definitely going to say some stuff, especially in regards to religion. Like, that's where our biggest like karmic drawback is. And I just want everybody to come to these next couple of episodes in regards to this series with the open mind, because in order for us to genuinely be free, in order for us to genuinely like break out of that, we have to stop with these old ways of thinking. We have to stop with thinking the way that they have forced us to think. We have to stop with the automatically putting ourselves in a box just because we are Black people, And I just really, like, at the end of it all, I just really hope that it'll spark something in somebody to really be like, okay, I'm going to make a change today, because that's really my main mission at the end of this. Like, that's all I want to do. Yeah, episode's going to cut a little short today, but yeah, now that we've got step 1 out the way, we're going to go ahead and now that we've gotten volume 1 out the way, we're going to go ahead and commence volume 2. And that's okay. Now that we've acknowledged it, what are we going to do about it? What's the next steps? Where are we going to go after this? Maybe next week is a remembrance episode of who Black people were before slavery. I don't know. Whatever I feel like pulling out the bag. Because genuinely, 250 years is the end all be all for these people. And it's time for us as Black people to start prepping ourselves to step up to the plate for us to be the people that our ancestors fought for us to be. So yeah. I really do hope y'all enjoyed today's episode. As always, I appreciate y'all for watching out. And yeah, I'll see y'all next week. Good night.